I think it's bad timing for the Indians. It's I think Boston is fully loaded. That line, especially for the Indians, because their strength throughout the course of the year was that starting pitching staff, and now to be depleted of that going against arguably, actually, I would say probably the best lineup from top to bottom in baseball. Just so loaded from hitters 1 through 9.
How many games this year did the Boston Red Sox score over 10 runs? I don't know the number offhand, but it was numerous and plentiful and abundant. That team scored runs.
I looked at Rick Porcello's record, the Game 1 starter tomorrow. That guy is 22-4, but how many of those 22 wins were a product of your team scoring 8, 9 runs?
Yeah, you know what though? But he didn't have a lot of 6 and 7 run nights where he got shelled. I think he might have been winning those games 13-3. So a 5-run night, he was going to win.
I think the Cleveland Indians, and I believe the Cleveland Indians were built to win games 2-1, 3-2.
Sure.
I think losing those 2 arms, having to rely on that bullpen here in the playoffs, can be a bad sign for our tribe.
It doesn't bode well, no. And I'm not going to go get the Cub hard on like everybody does right now and think that there's no way they're getting beat, although that's a 103-game winner. That's insanity in today's Major League Baseball to win 103 games. It's just flat-out dominant. But you're going to find out how this young team handles this right now in the playoffs. I think Joe Madden has a ton of experience. You got some players like John Lester and like Grampy, like David Ross that are going to be fine as far as leading some of these young guys into this. But
I think they'll be fine as well. I think they got a taste of it last year, and I think that was a good experience for a lot of these guys. And I think they're back this year, and I think they have a certain confidence about them where they know this is theirs. This is something. This should be for them. This was made for them this year. Anything less than a World Series championship for the North Side of Chicago is a huge disappointment with how well they've been this year.
It is. You can't win 103 games and not win it all. But I recall a Seattle Mariners team that did something similar a few years ago.
Sure.
Probably 20-some years ago now, but I think they won 100+.
I think like in 2001 or 2002, something like that.
They won 100+ and got thumped by the Yankees.
Well, what I think would be amazing is if the 2016 version of the Cleveland Indians were the team that pulled off a World Series when we had those lineups in 95 and 97 that were just unbelievable. With
that's a great point.
Baerga, Joey Albert Bell, Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez. Come on. You're right. That would be quite ironic. In 2007, the team that had Boston down 3-1 in the ALCS, and let's not kid ourselves, it's all coulda, woulda, shoulda. It didn't happen, but
sure.
They were not going to lose that Colorado Rockies team in the World Series had they got there. That
nobody was.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that if there was ever a team that you looked at in the World Series like, really, how did you guys get here?
Yeah, they were like the 2004 Padres. No, it was like the 96 Padres.
98 Padres that lost to that Yankees team that won 125 games.
Yeah, it was a 4-game sweep.
Yeah, it was a foregone conclusion before it even started.
I don't recall watching a single pitch of that entire series thinking this is awful. Disappointing and awful. But this is going to be a good one this year. The San Francisco Giants in the National League will always scare me. That's a team that knows how to ride October really well. They got to get through tonight. And I love baseball's wild card. I do. I think it's very cool. I know that you play a 162-game season to have it decided in one night. But like you mentioned earlier, Joe, you put your A+, your
best against my best.
See what we got, and I think it's just a really exciting part of baseball.
And I think we're set up. It's the bottom of the third inning. The first hit for both teams just happened right now with a single up the middle. I mean, I think we're setting up. This could turn out to be a classic right here with Syndergaard and because both these guys look like they got their stuff working tonight. Syndergaard's actually absolutely blowing smoke right now.
Well, like you said, this could turn out to be a classic. It's coming up on 9 o'clock at night, which means I can have a Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? The Big Cheese has a friend that just arrived from Vermont that brought him a big old chunk of Roquefort. So the Big Cheese is going to sit down with a big old salad.
Well, you get your salad, Big Cheese. We're going to go ahead and roll out of here tonight because we're up against our time break. Everybody, thanks for listening to us shoot the shit and spread it around. Be ready to go tomorrow night when Harbor Mike joins us and we go through our fantasy breakdown, putting a team together, bringing you the best and brightest of the bunch of guys who just try to win a little bit of money. We'll share those ideas and a little recap of how our fantasy teams turned out last week. And then on Saturday, hopefully, Pepper Jack the Big Cheese will jump in again and give us his picks. Lay the wood on some of his upset specials for Sunday. And, well, Joey Peeps is always going to be here whether he wants to or not. He's under contract.
Well, thanks for having me on the show tonight. The Big Cheese was
I got the cheapest deal in media out there, let me tell you.
Yeah, you're a whore.
I'm going to give all your listeners out there one tip for this weekend that I know it's the bet, it's the money pick, and that's to place a bet that Joey Peeps will fall off a bar stool Saturday night.
That was 20-1 the other night.
You're on. Guess what? Just to be spiteful, see, you shouldn't have told me just to be spiteful. I won't sit my ass down at the bar today.
So you're going to do it on Friday night, aren't you?
Nope, not going to sit at the bar. Going to stand.
There you go.
I will fall. I will fall, but not off the stool.
Yeah, you will fall. So on that note, folks, we emptied the tank once again, and we appreciate you listening. Make sure you tune in again tomorrow night or Friday morning if you want to pick it up for that fantasy breakdown. And we appreciate it. Everybody take it easy. Say goodnight, boys.
Good night.
Say goodnight.
Good night, boys.